Wow, so much exciting stuff, learning is taking place, and cool coincidence. So I'm going to jump right into it. I went out and I collected some of the bigger seed heads from the arugula. I'm not going to even bother with the smaller ones. It's typically likes to grow in a cooler climate. I'm trying to condition some of these plants to withstand the wide range of temperatures and water and soil conditions. All right, now for the excellent cool coincidence. I have been meaning for quite some time to do a video about the things that are growing here like wildfire that I have no clue as to what they are, and I really don't have the time to research. And I know Eat the Weeds, if you're not familiar with his channel, does a wonderful job on the wild edibles. And strangely enough, I woke up in the middle of the night, many times as I often do, and I was thinking about this one incredibly beautiful weed that I refuse to pull. It is very beautiful, low to the ground, great ground cover, and has these spectacular little bright pink flowers. And here, one of my dear subscribers that I have a great dialogue with happens to send me a video on this particular weed, and it's called common pigweed or purslane. And so it brought my attention back to the video that I wanted to shoot. And lo and behold, I went out to look at the garden, and here the purslane is going to seed. So yes, thank you. That couldn't have been better timing. Texas hummingbird sage in the hopper. Lemon balm in the hopper. I don't consider the seeds mine if they're outdoors. If they're on plates getting ready to be bagged, then yes, they, especially if they're in my to-go duffel bag, I consider them to be mine. I have some excellent news, and I had been instructed to check the viability of the cucumber seed to, when you're choosing your seed to plant, pick the big full ones. And I thought it was a good, credible source of information. And those big fat cucumber seeds have been known to last with a good germination rate for up to 10 years. Now, I normally discard the concave, flat, there's nothing to it. So what's happening here, if we're going to take a walk outside, is just because of some dialogue between, I believe it was the East Watch and I can't quite remember. Maybe I could go back through my inbox and find it. Anyway, he wrote, "Are you sure that these cucumber seeds aren't viable? Because I planted a half a squash seed and it did great." So I took a lot of the flattened cucumber from the lemon apple stalk and I just buried them, and voila. Now I would suspect, and I'm going to run a test on it, is that yes, indeed it is viable, but it probably doesn't have a long shelf life, the seed that is. Now hopefully I'll have enough of the daylight hours to get optimal male to female ratio on the cucumber flowers, and we'll see what these guys can actually do for us. They'll have to be thinned. I'm going to work on that tonight probably. Anyway, I had a first today. I actually saw 2 bumblebees doing it, and at first I wasn't sure if they were fighting, and then I felt kind of strange watching, and indeed they were in the act of creation. And of course it is an act of creation because I don't really think bumblebees do it for pleasure. However, I can't be sure about that. Lots of shifting around again, of course, of the pots. I'm trying to get ready to minimize the workload, especially the watering, so I'm trying to condense a lot of the plants up here. And as you can see, the lychee is still very healthy and kicking it out. Seems like it's going to be a long-lived plant. These are my tea bushes. So we'll see how they do. I'm going to actually overwinter them indoors. And a clone subarctic plenty went in and try to get that to bear fruit. That pot is extremely heavy, and I have steps here that I didn't have at the other place, but I'm going to try to get that one indoors. Those dragon tongue beans are doing good. I laid a little fertilizer on them, a little compost tea, witch's brew mixture. Highly recommend if you haven't grown the sacred basil. Oh goodness, you're in for a treat. Unbelievably delightful fragrance. So far the lychee fruit, the papayas, and the mangoes are all doing very well, and I'm exposing them to different conditions as well. Okay, so this brings me to identifying things that are here and I don't have a clue. And this is the first guy. So if anybody knows what this is, clue me in, please. Same thing with this. And when this comes up, this actually, kind of mimics that marigold look. And I don't think that the one that I really am interested in knowing the name is up front. I have to walk to the back. But here's another one. Pretty little flowers on it. And almost like a rosemary shaped leaf and stem. I would really like to know what this is, so if anybody has a clue, please educate me. Educate me! All right, domestic blackberry is handling that spot very well. And I'm going to also do, at the same time that I'm going through for the wilds that I'd like to know, is I'm going to show you this Guinera procumbens in 3 spots, and so you could see the difference in that plant. Now, I don't know how to use it. I know that you can eat this raw and cook it, but as far as using it for medicinal purposes, I don't know how they go about doing that, if it's in a tincture, a tea, what part of the plant you use. But if you're interested, it is said to control diabetes. Okay, we have the gorgeous domestic blackberries back here, and they're very, very happy, except I'm extremely unhappy with stepping in a fire ant mound right now, and Michael weed whacking some of my bushes. Ugh, that hurt, but we'll see if they come back. All right, here is the other Guinera procumbens. Rich soil, lots of shade, very, very little direct sun takes place all throughout the summer, and not very much water. He's doing okay. As you can see, not as happy as the other guy. My radish experiment didn't really turn out that well. I think it was just too far late in the season and way too hot and maybe not deep enough. Wow, fire ants. Okay, this brings me to what I just called chicken weed. And my chickens absolutely just love, love, love this stuff. And look at these beautiful little flowers. And it's a vining, crawling, low. Just, it's extremely hardy. It's taking unbelievably punishing conditions and remains green and beautiful. So I really want to know what that is, and if I could use it in any way, medicinal or for an edible. All right, off to the next thing, which brings me to, I hadn't given you guys an update on the ginger root that I planted early, and it got totally taken over by the wonderberries, which was good because I actually picked the wrong spot. It liked shade, and the wonderberries did a great job at that. So I will get to see what happens when I dig up the roots. And here is some cilantro that I totally forgot about, gone to seed. So come this fall, have lots of no plant cilantro. It'll be the volunteer guys, and I love those. Oh, watermelon's still happening up here, but it really looks like my Cluckleys are pure. I fertilized those last night because I want to see a little bit more growth, especially on the first few watermelon. I want to make sure I get my seed in the bags. That's what it's all about for me. I love the fresh eating, love saving the money, but for me, it's a lot of my projects are long-term. You know, they have short-term payoff, but really I have a long-term vision of where I want to be and what I want to be doing. Parsley, hanging tough. That's the Hamburg rooted. Everything's edible, roots edible. Good deal. Love that when you could utilize the whole plant. I think that just about covers it for the wild guys. Oh, no, I was going to I can't even remember now. My mouth and my mind are going a mile a minute. The purslane, pigweed, seeds. Here we are. Just in the nick of time. Let me see if I can get a better shot. Look at that little seed pod there. Loaded. And they're very tiny and beautiful, black and shiny. And they are as tiny as the tobacco. But when this plant is fresh, she's just absolutely beautiful. And as you could see, I told you, I don't like to pull it, so it's everywhere. So that means lots of seeds, and it means lots of volunteers, and nutritious. And I'm going to taste it as soon as I see a next fresh round coming in. I'm going to give it a try. Or maybe if I could find some in a shaded area that hasn't quite gone that far yet. Never know. Sprinkler system going. 90 degrees again. Feels like a break. And I'm really hoping that our temperatures don't climb again. I hope we just continue to see a dip and we stay in that 60s, 70s for a stretch. That's my favorite. Okay, enough of my babble. I am full steam ahead. I have way too many irons in the fire, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great, great day. Arrivederci.